Okay, so let me ask you something. Have you ever left a meeting feeling like, great, we finally decided something, only to walk into the exact same debate a week later? Yeah? Well then this one's for you. We're about to dive into a super simple but fundamental rule of teamwork. If it's not written down, it basically didn't happen.
This quote right here, it gets to the very heart of the problem. It mentions something called the Relitigate Tax. Have you heard of that? It's this invisible cost that you and your team pay every single time you have to argue about a decision all over again. And trust me, it's a silent killer. It just drains your team's time, their energy, and all that precious momentum.
All right, so what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's start with this symptom, the part that everyone on the team can feel, that nagging pain, even if they can't quite put a name to the disease just yet.
Oh man, does this look familiar? I mean, painfully familiar? It's that classic circular argument that goes absolutely nowhere. You've got one person who's convinced you all decided on X, and then someone else is like, no way, we definitely decided on Y. And without any written proof, you're just stuck. You're trapped in this frustrating Groundhog Day loop of a conversation.
So what's really going on here? What's the real culprit behind all this constant arguing? Well, to figure that out, we have to go deeper than just the symptoms. It's time for a proper diagnosis.
And there it is, the invisible culprit. The thing causing all this pain is something called tribal knowledge. So what's that? Well, it's all that super important information. The why behind a decision, the history, the context, that only exists inside a few people's heads. And let me tell you, that is a huge liability. I mean, think about it, right? What happens when the person with all that knowledge leaves? Or when a new person joins the team? They're completely in the dark.
When you rely on this tribal knowledge, it leads directly to this, our official X-ray finding. Decision amnesia. And here's what's so important to understand. This is not about blaming people for having a bad memory. It's not an individual problem, it's a system problem. The organization itself is forgetting its own decisions, and that creates this awful culture of constant uncertainty.
Okay, so we've got our diagnosis, decision amnesia caused by tribal knowledge. But what's the actual damage? What's the real cost? Let's talk about that relitigate tax, that hidden price your team is paying, probably without even realizing it.
And here's the biggest one, the most obvious, and honestly the most soul-crushing cost is the endless cycle of repeat meetings. You know the feeling. You're sitting in the same room with the same people having the exact same debate you had last week, or maybe it was last month. It's just brutal. Let's actually try and quantify this. Let's put a number on it. It starts small. Maybe it's just one wasted hour. One meeting, going over the same old ground. Doesn't sound like the end of the world, right? Just an hour.
But what if it's happening every single week? Well, suddenly, that one little hour turns into 52 hours a year, and that's per person in that meeting. Think about that. That is more than a full work week just gone, completely wasted. It's a massive self-inflicted tax that's just crushing your team's potential.
Eventually, this has to stop. Every team that goes through this eventually hits a breaking point. It's that moment, that collective realization when everyone kind of looks around the room and the thought is just hanging in the air. We can't keep doing this. This pattern is completely unsustainable.
And it often starts with one simple question, the question that can change everything. It's when someone finally has the courage to just say it out loud. Hey, why do we keep debating the same thing over and over again? And that is the moment the team starts to realize, hey, maybe the problem isn't us. Maybe the system itself is broken. And you know what? Thankfully, the fix here isn't some huge, complicated thing. We don't need to totally overhaul everything. All we really need is a simple, elegant prescription, a little system patch that will cure the disease of decision amnesia for good.
And the prescription is surprisingly simple. It's called a decision log. And look, before you tune out, this isn't some complicated new software you have to buy. It's not some bureaucratic nightmare. It is just a single, central, shared place where decisions get written down. That's it. We're taking them out of our faulty human memories and putting them somewhere permanent.
And look how easy this is. It really just comes down to 3 things. Step 1, what was the final decision? Let's just write it down. Step 2, who owns this decision? Who's the point person? And step 3, and listen up because this is the absolute game changer. Why did we decide this? Writing down the why is the secret sauce here. It does more than just stop future arguments. It builds a foundation of shared understanding and trust. And that's what lets the team actually move forward with confidence. So let's look at the after picture. Once you apply this simple little patch, your team's whole operating system gets a massive upgrade.
You go from this state of chronic amnesia to a state of really powerful shared alignment. I mean, look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, you've got the before, all that tribal knowledge, the repeat arguments, just so much wasted time. And on the other side, the after, a clear written record, real alignment, and actual forward momentum. You literally stop wasting time fighting about the past, and you can finally start building the future. It really is that simple. Clarity prevents rework.
So if there is just one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. If your team feels like it's stuck in a loop, arguing about the same things over and over, don't blame the people. Look at the system. Because you can have the most talented, smartest people in the world, and they will still fail if the system is broken. But the good news, the really great news, is that a simple fix, like a decision lock, can unlock all of that trapped potential. Because it was never really a people problem. It was a system problem all along.